If you've been watching this channel all the way from Fulham on the first day of the season, all the way to the Wolves game, you'd have seen one trend. Generally, all these videos are negative. But why do you think these are negative? We've had one of our worst seasons. There's not much to really enjoy. If you want to change from that, then watch this video. Because you know what? Finally, we are making moves that indicate that we are actually trying to do something great. And you might say, it's just one player. It's just Cunha. Why is this such a big transformation compared to anything that has happened in the last 12 months? I'll tell you why. For that left 10 role, let's just say for an attacker at Man United, we cannot get better than Cunha. When I say we cannot get better, I don't mean quality-wise, I mean profile-wise. We cannot get anything better for the team that we have right now, the team that we are building. So we've always seen the news. We're linked to Delap one day, we're linked to Ekitike another day, Osimhen, we're linked to Cunha, we're linked to Turkey, and many unknown players apart from that. But this one, I am so sure that this is going to happen now. When you see Fabrizio Romano, when you see the Athletic reporting about the deal is getting close, we're not saying the deal is signed or it's done, but the fact that deals are progressing, it's advancing. You know, those certain words you look out for when certain reporters report. The signs are there that he's being signed. But again, let's go back to why Cunha? Why not somebody else? Why do I prefer a player just like Cunha? Number one is an argument that most of you would really be against. And that is his attitude. You know how people are always on about how Cunha is not a disciplined figure, how he always causes chaos in the team. I want that. Because if we look at this team right now that we have too many nice boys. People that rivals would call, nice guys. You know what? I would love him in my team because he's such a nice guy. I don't want a nice guy. I want a guy who the opposition absolutely hates. Who would think like, I want to punch this guy's face in. That's the kind of player I want. And Cunha, you add with that also the Brazilian flair. Maybe he's not Neymar. Maybe he's not even a Roberto Firmino. But one thing he does is he is willing to take risks, which is something that is not even exclusive to just football in the Premier League, but it's just football in the world generally. Because people nowadays don't want to take risks because with these new managers, they want to micromanage all these players. They want to make sure that the players do exactly what they say. They do not want to step 1 foot out of the line because if they do, then the system breaks apart and then the managers are exposed for all the robotic things that they're trying to do. But Cunha brings a bit of that old class flair. Because, okay, I've not watched the 90s. I've not watched the 2000s, so I can't comment on that. But even in the 2010s, when I did start watching, even then, you would see goals from the half line. You would see goals from 30 yards out. You would see Coutinho banging in screamers, top corner. Where is that right now? You don't see any of that, like flair or that wow factor in the Premier League. You don't see that. You occasionally see that in La Liga, but you don't really see that in the Premier League anymore. Cunha, on the other hand, see some of his goals. Just watch some of his goals just from last season. Watch some of his goals from this season. You will see what kind of a player he is. Why exactly we are trying to sign him. Because he has that flair. He has things that other players don't do. It's kind of like Ahmad if you want. Because Ahmad has that unique profile where he can absolutely demon press you. At the same time, he's technically sound to the point. He's one of the best technical wingers in the Premier League. And I mean wingers, left and right. We're getting something like that, but only with a bit more pressing, with a bit more intensity with Cunha. At the same time, he has a bit of flair. You combine pressing, you combine flair and GA, you have the ultimate player for the Premier League. You have that and you are literally bossing it. But that's not it. You look at the team now. Look at the potential team that we could field. Chip in another 25 million with let's say the 50 or 60 million that you're going to spend on Cunha. You could potentially have an attack with Zirkzee, Cunha, Cherki, Mino on the bench, Ahmad at right wing back, Dorgu at left wing back. If you're not going to tell me that doesn't excite you in any way, I don't know what will. Because Zirkzee is going to fall back into that false 9 kind of role. Cunha will bomb forward. Mino is going to do the 10 role. Ahmad's going to bomb forward. Dorgu is going to bomb forward. Now you're finally getting that pace and power team that you want. And now, if you want really, you can even add in a Osimhen and Delap if we have the budget for that. And now you have a totally different option as well. You have a more physical number 9 as an option as well. So now, when you see all this, You compare that to the attack that we're playing right now with Hoyland, we're playing with Garnacho, we're playing with Bruno Fernandes. Suddenly, the team transforms. Now you're seeing a team with technical ability, you're seeing a team with pressing ability, you're seeing a team that can play one touch and two touch ball, which can get the ball into the opposition in no time, and we will score so many more counter-attacking goals. Whether that's Amorim, whether that's another coach, we're going to score so many goals on the counter next season. If we can get in a Cunha, if we can get a Cherki, if we can get an Osimhen or Delap. One thing we're lacking is cutting edge. Cunha scores goals. Cunha creates. His dribbling is good, just like Ahmad. And the biggest thing is that he has character. He will be a brute. Cherki, the same thing. He would be a brute. If we sign another central midfielder with these two who can play with the ball, I've seen bits of Edison here and there. He seems like a good profile. But if not Edison, we can get somebody else who's a ball-playing CDM to slot in beside either Bruno Fernandes or another ball-playing central midfielder. If you have all these players, and now we are assuming all of these are brutes now. We got Cunha, Cherki, Zirkzee, we get another midfielder, and we get either Fernandes or whoever. These guys are going to cause problems to the opposition heavily. And when we say problems, it's going to be problems that we've never seen other teams face. Like, teams will dread playing us at either Old Trafford or when we go there especially. Because when we sit back and then we're going to counter them, pretty much we might start playing like 2007-8 Man United or like 2018-19 Liverpool. Like, that's the kind of level we can get to, even though that's a far way away because we are right now 14th and we might not even make Europe. But the way that the league is at the moment, like I said in my match reaction against Wolves, this is an inconsistent league. So this means bridging the gap is not as difficult as it has been in previous seasons where, you know, City is perfect, Liverpool is perfect, and you cannot do anything to really bridge the gap unless you have a mental summer and you have insane luck. It's not that. Because even Liverpool, who are winning the league, might win at an all-time low points total. Arsenal far behind them. And then you have, after Arsenal, everybody's just close together. It's like a bunch together. You might as well say that they're all almost the same level. All the way up to, let's say, Brentford or Fulham. All those teams there are pretty much the same level this season. It's just give or take, they got some certain points against certain teams because of who the players are and individual brilliance. But generally, the teams have been almost the same level. And if we are in the Champions League next season, that's an additional pull, not for players like Cunha, but players like Osimhen, players who have even more competition, players who don't want to maybe play in other competitions, but only the Champions League. We have an extra pull factor now. With Cunha, the only reason I am so excited and the only reason why I'm so positive with the fact that I think Cunha is going to come in is because, I don't know if you guys noticed, but throughout the United game against Wolves, Cunha and Amorim were sharing jokes, joking around. This would indicate that they have had previous talks and it probably went well. And even after the game, you know, ever since last season, Cunha has always been posting something or the other about Man United. You know, it's a tease, but you can understand that Cunha really wants to join United. Like, he does that. That's his next club. And even a news article came out where out of Arsenal, Forest, all the teams that are looking for him, he still wants to join United. So I think we have this in the bag. Champions League, you might say, some people might say it's a factor, right? We need Champions League, otherwise we don't have the funds. Even if we don't have the funds, I think Cunha is going to be the first one to come in. So we have the funds for Cunha. Because we all know we need an attacker. An attacker who can play centre forward, who can play 10. Who suits that role better out of all the players that we're scouting than Cunha? Because yes, he can play a centre forward role where he can just cause trouble like a Bobby Firmino. He can also play the left 10 role, which is a role where you need pace, you need dribbling, you need finishing, you need passing. Doesn't Cunha cover all four bases? Add to that he has a character that we've been missing in this squad for, I don't even know how long. I would say since Ibra left. Like, we have not had an ego like this because, you know what? We're trying to be this nice team that everybody loves. Throw that in the bin. Let's start this new team, which everybody absolutely hates. which none of the rival fans can stand. Because, if Cunha starts riling up other fans, the opposition fans, the rival fans, United fans are going to get on board with that and everybody's going to love him. Add to that the fact that this guy has actual star quality. He can actually become a star player. It's not like one of those passion merchants that you see. He actually has flair. He actually has quality. Now, is he consistent? That's a different question all in itself. Because whenever I've seen him play against United, he does always perform. But against other teams, he can be hit and a miss. But this is why we have other players in the squad. This is why Cunha is not Manchester United. When Cunha struggles, you should have Mino and Ahmad covering, or Turkey covering. You have Zirkzee covering. You have an Osimhen or Delap covering. When we have all these options in the team, now if Cunha is having a bad game, bring on Turkey. Or bring on Osimhen, Delap and put Zirkzee in the 10 and then put Osimhen, Delap as striker. We can have these options. We have these options to try out. But the only way we do this is if we recruit more in the offense. And in defense, I think we're solid. In midfield as well, we need another replacement for Casemiro. A younger Casemiro, ideally. But how likely are we to get one of those? But if we can get an option like that in midfield, then we're looking into the offense. And in the offense, trick it out. Because I'm always in the belief now that it does not matter whether we keep goals out. If you score enough, you can win trophies. You can win things that you want. Because you know what's the best case for that? Barcelona. This year alone, in 2025, Barcelona have conceded 3 hat-tricks. And you know what's the insane stat? They conceded 3 hat-tricks, but they did not lose a single one of those games. Why do you think that is? Because they won those games 4-3, 4-3, 4-5. And they keep winning those games. Just because they have an insane attacking line. So if we build that insane attacking line first, it does not matter how many we concede there. We know we're going to score up front. And for that, you need Mavericks. When I say Mavericks, I mean players like Cunha, players like Cherki, players like Ahmad, Zirkzee. Players who can just take the game and then just say, you know what, I'm going to decide it today. And we have the option, we have the chance to build that team. The only thing is, will United pay the money? And I think even if we allocated 100 million budget, even if we allocated 120, we might end up selling Anthony for 40 million pounds. Rashford's in the air, but I have a feeling, me personally, that they're going to buy him for 40 million as well. That's 80 million. Now, we might get rid of Garnacho, another 30 million. Højlund, another 30 million. That brings your total already to 60, 100, 140. Let's say there's a commission that's taken out. We get 110 to spend. Add 110 to the 120 you already have. You have 230 million to spend this summer. 230 million would be enough to buy either an Osimhen or Delap, buy a Cunha, buy a Cherki, buy an Edison. And if we really can, we go buy a keeper who is of a Nick Pope level. And then we go get a right wing back option to cover for Ahmad. And now we're actually looking decent. And you know what? We might have spent 230, 250 million. But now you can cover that up with another sale of a player, in a 20, 30 million range of an academy player. And trust me, we will see some of those. This summer, we will see somebody being sold for 10, 15 million, which we expected only like 1 or 2 million out of. It will happen. So now you're telling me that we can actually spend 250 million indirectly. When we spend that 250 million, if we can trick out that attack, this 14th place team that we're seeing right now, we won't be in 14th place for long. We will be pushing up 6, we'll be pushing up 5, 4. Don't even be surprised. Don't be surprised if we get 3rd or 2nd place next season. Because the way the league is at the moment, it's so inconsistent that all it requires is some of these Mavericks in our team and suddenly we just transform. So, what do you guys think about Cunha? I want to hear in the comments down below. What do you think we're going to get out of Cunha? Should we sign Cunha? And what is the ideal price range you would put for Matheus Cunha? Anyways, hopefully we sign this guy and see you all in the next one.